Guys, when it comes to hunting and being outdoors, I believe there's one product that I use more than anything. That's not my bow. That's not my boots. It's not my anything else other than a binocular harness. If I am outside doing anything outdoors, I've got a binocular harness on. Whether I'm shooting, whether I'm hanging tree stands, whether I'm out hiking, it doesn't matter. If I'm outdoors doing just about anything, I've always got my binocular harness. Alaskan Guide Creations does it and does it very, very well. I've been using these now for about 8 years, and I absolutely love them. The new system with all the magnets are really good, really accessible, very customizable. Guys, if you're in the market for a new binocular harness, I would highly, highly, highly encourage you to check out Alaskan Guide Creations because they are phenomenal. Hey guys, welcome to Bear Archery's Hunting 101. I'm coming to you from ATA. I've got my good buddy Dave Thomas from Bowhunter Planet, and we're talking budget bows and the bad misconception that comes along with that word budget, and how, cost doesn't always equal quality, and how these bows today shoot so incredibly well that sometimes just you get that negative vibe just because it doesn't cost $1,800. We also talk about some industry things and how the hunting community and our influence in the hunting world should change and should improve, and how we as hunters can cast a much better light to the non-hunting community if we'll just change a couple of the things we do. This episode, as always, is presented by our good friends over at ScentLock. They just at ATA released a couple new pieces, one of which being the Ridge quarter zip hoodie, which I can guarantee you will become a staple that I wear. Go check it out at scentlock.com. Guys, thanks for listening. This is going to be a fun one.
Welcome to Bear Archery's Hunting 101 podcast, where hunters new and old come to learn and find inspiration from stories of hunts gone by. Everyone is welcome to enjoy the outdoor way of life, and there is no better time to start than right now. So let's head into the great outdoors with your host, Dylan Ray.
So, Dave, we are day 2 ATA here in the Bear booth. Place is stinking hopping, dude.
It's crazy in here, man. I was just saying, it's got like super busy. You were setting this thing up, and it was like not too busy. Then all of a sudden now it was like people stealing chairs from our table. It's going down. Yeah, like people we're having to readjust and move, and which is fine. I understand we're in the midst of it, but we also wanted to be here and do it here. So, how's ATA been so far for you, man? Excellent. I think it's I was just thinking about while you're talking there, I was thinking about being here and being at the Bear booth and being able to see everybody in person. It's just so nice to actually shake a hand and say hi again, and it goes a long way. I think people, we just do better when we're together, right? It's easy. Yeah. Like you and I talking right now, it's nice to see you in person rather than have to call you on a Zoom call or a con call, Yeah. So, but otherwise, it's been good. I mean, it's tiring as usual. The show's always tiring, mainly because you're walking from one point to another, back to that point again to another point because you're waiting for somebody. So it happens a lot, but that's okay. I think it's overall, it just wears you down a little bit. I get you, man. And, it's one of those deals where this is our community, dude. Yeah, these are our people. Like, it's inevitable if you're a hunter and you're in a public setting and you talk about hunting, somebody's going to not agree with you. Like, somebody's going to not be okay with you being a hunter. And like here, dude, it's a hunting community. So it's the best place to be. But also, and me and you talk about this type of thing quite a bit. It's also when you get in this setting that you're reminded, like, this community ain't perfect. Like, there's things that need to change. Well, I think we all make mistakes or different things. Like, for instance, I'm not going to name names by any means here, but I also got yelled at today by a company. It's like, oh, well, what happened to this and that? So it's okay, though, because then you realize, like, oh, I did that wrong. I should have did this or that. You apologize, you move on, and you find a path forward. I think it's good to have these interactions in person so you can, fix the issues, move forward in a positive way or whatever. So it's not always a good thing, or like, we're not sitting here just messing around. This is business. There's people here that are selling products. Bear Archery selling these products right here, right now. There's just a lot going on in the booth. You got traditional being sold behind us, beautiful bows, obviously.
Oh my gosh, dude!
Great accessories. So it's just exciting to see all the people in here right now.
Yeah. No, when you see man, I don't. It almost, when you think about the history of bear archery, when you think about where this company is, it's nothing to shake a stick at, dude. 90 years, made in the USA. I mean, and then you see the booth like this, packed full. And I mean, I've been to every booth, and this is the busiest booth in the place.
Yeah, it's jamming.
It's just,
yeah.
And part of that's because some of the big name celebrities are here at the time, and people want to be around them and talk with them and shake their hand.
That usually happens when I step in here.
Yeah, dude. Everybody comes, dude.
It's so fun.
All of your TikTok fans swarming here.
I have met multiple TikTokers here, and I've shook a lot of hands. People come up to me and said, "Great job on the videos. Love what you're doing." I mean, I see that more than normal. I was telling somebody I was in Florida one time, going between flights, and somebody stopped me like, "Hey, aren't you Dave from Bowhunter Planet?" I was like, "Really?" I'm like, "Okay, yeah."
It gets you excited, doesn't it?
It was. You want a picture of me? I thought it was weird. I'm like, "Okay." It's just I'm not used to that because
nobody's ever asked to take a picture with me.
I'm gonna ask to take a picture of you
I think it's because I'm ugly, but
no, I could take a picture right now.
But no, there have been a couple times where it's just like you realize this industry is so
that's funny,
tight knit. I walked into
it is, yeah.
Like I drove to Denver to Rocky Mountain Specialty Gear, which is where Tom Clum's at, one of the top recurve instructors in the world, and to get some recurve instructions. And I walked in, and this dude was like, "Dude, love your wanted a picture and no, didn't want a picture. My bad." But he's like, "Dude, I just got to keep doing what you're doing, man." And I'm like, "Wow, cool, thanks, dude."
Yeah.
And it's in those times you realize. It's in those times you realize the influence you can actually have.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think sometimes people don't get the way that you represent this community.
Yeah.
The things you do have a lasting impact on people for hunting, good or bad.
Yeah.
And it's those types of deals where you're like, you see people post stuff, and you're like, come on, guys, clean it up. You're representing a much bigger community than yourself.
You're trying to reach in front of people who are non-hunters. So that when you say clean up, I get exactly what you're saying, because those are the people that you're trying to reach a new breed of people, and you can't do that by showing things that just are more, realistic of a hunt, sure, but you're not going to tap into the new crowd if people see that, and it comes down to influence from family members too. So if you had let's say a 16-year-old who's saw the pictures, "Oh, I want to hunt and get that deer," and then the mom sees the pictures "Look at that thing, there's blood coming out," you know what I mean? So you could lose that hunter just because of that. So yes, I agree. For normal people, do what you want. It's fair. You can do what you want to do. But for people who are in the industry specifically, yeah, I agree with you. They should be doing that.
Well, and I think it's not only. I remember when I first tried to just get in the industry, I sent a bunch of pictures to somebody, and I don't even remember who it was. And dude, I was so proud of this deer, and they're like, "Hey, congrats on a great deer, man, but we can't use this for anything." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And they're like, "There's blood in the picture." I'm like, "Yeah, the deer's dead."
Yeah, you weren't thinking. You don't.
Of course,
think
there's blood in the picture, and that never even crossed my mind. I never even thought to myself "Oh, I need to change the way I do things." But I think that even if the general public, even if you're not a quote unquote influencer, even if you don't even have a stinking social media, but you're walking around showing people pictures, the pictures that they see will put a idea in their head about the hunting community and the hunters.
That's true.
And I don't know how we got off on this tangent, but it's something I definitely notice more of now.
Yeah.
And it's not even just blood and guts. It's just the way you carry yourself in the field. And if you post pictures of doing stupid stuff and you put videos out of doing stupid stuff, I mean, it's just come on, man. You're representing me here.
Yeah. It's true.
You're not just representing yourself. You represent a whole community.
It's true.
And that's something if you look at the non-hunting community, they make sure everything they do
clean cut,
is clean cut, and it casts a bad message about hunting.
Yeah.
So therefore, everything we do should be clean cut casting a good message about hunting.
Yeah, true that.
And that's just, we get off on those tangents, but no. So what I like most about you, and we had you on the podcast to review the new bows, and you said it yourself. You're like, I'm coming at this from a regular bow hunter standpoint. We had Brian on from Mike's Archery, and he comes at it from that pro staff level, from that I deal with these bows daily type level. But you come at this from, I'm an everyday, I'm going to walk into a bow shop, I'm going to shoot them, and I'm going to just go off feel and what feels the best. And you mentioned having a budget bow of the year, a budget buy of the year.
Best Buy.
What was it?
Legend XR.
Legend XR.
The video's not out yet. This will be the first time we publicize it. But the Legend XR, to me, is a bow that, the thing about Bear, I just want to step back for a second. The thing about Bear is they're like, to me, the brand that's like the every hunter's brand, because they're a brand that put price in the right path for the whole industry, for all of people to get involved in archery. And so it's not surprising to me that they have so many bows between $400 and $600. It's literally crazy. And so, but when you shoot that Legend XR, you know right off the bat, you're like, this bow is just phenomenal. And for the price, I mean, it's hard to beat that. It really is. So to me, that's definitely the budget bow of the year. And I wouldn't even say the word budget bow necessarily, but just the best buy of the year, realistically. So for the 23 bows, there's been no better bow at that price that feels that great, than with Bear Archery with that Legend XR, my opinion, again, but pretty sweet.
No, and, we were talking, that word budget immediately, cast a bad light.
Correct.
For whatever stupid reason. People think, oh, it's not expensive.
Yeah.
I don't want it. What?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? So you want to spend more money to get the same level of bow?
Yeah. No, I hear you. I mean, I think people think of that when they think of the legit. They're like, okay, budget bow, fair, fine. It's a starter bow, get people going. Doesn't mean it can't do everything a normal bow can do. No, it can do everything. But and so what I always try to say to people is like the Legend XR, the Alaskan, I just call mid-price, midpoint, because to me, Bear has a lot of bows in that range that fit that, genre of people looking for those bows. Now, if you were to shoot, this is the funny part to me, like if you can't compare the Execute, to the Legend XR. They're different bows. There's different tech on those bows, right?
Yeah.
However, if you did shoot them side by side, you would still like the Legend XR. That's my point.
100%.
It's a bow it's way too nice for the price. Honestly, I feel like Bear should have priced it like $700-800, to be honest, because it's that nice of a bow.
Do you know the okayest hunter at all?
Oh, I love that guy.
Do you?
Him and he just saw me. We just saw him. I saw him the other day. I was walking. He goes, "No way," because we TikTok a lot together. So we'll
okay.
We go live once in a while. We'll go on together, do some stuff together.
So he runs up just a minute ago, and he's like, "Dylan, dude, listen, it's time to upgrade my bow. I shoot a single cam. I love it because it's smooth and quiet." And I'm like, "You need the Adapt.
Yeah,
that's what you want to shoot." And so at that time, Aaron Warburton was standing there, and I'm like, "This is the dude right here." Like he helped design it. He gave his input, and so we talked for a while about the bow, and then I'm like, "Well, dude, they're at the shooting lanes. Just go shoot them. Like, find out, man. Like you'll know when you shoot that bow." And so he goes on, and I don't see him for a while, and he comes back, and he's like, "So I shot it," and I'm like, "Good." And he's like, "But I also shot the Legend XR," and I'm like,
this is what happened to me too. This same thing, because I shot the Adapt first, used it, I loved it. It was a nice bow, but then I shot that Legend XR. I'm like, oh my god, this thing's got huge punch power, so smooth for being two cams. You're like, wow, how
Well, and that now he's like, dude, now I have a hard decision to make.
Yeah,
and I'm like, that's what they're gonna do, and he even shot the Execute, and he's like, but these two, I mean, for 1,200 versus 500, I don't see that difference.
Yeah, it is a different bow. I mean, it's a different platform. It's a new bow. So that's the other thing. So a lot of people, they want the newest tech, right?
Yeah.
If you want the newest tech, you're going to buy the Execute 32. I mean, there's no doubt. Or 30, whatever size you want, don't matter. But that bow is going to have the latest pockets, the latest tech, the latest options from Bear, and done very well. That's the thing. So they take pride in making those bows. And they've talked about it in our podcast, when Ryan was on. And because of that, you see this new idea that is awesome, because what most people, no one talks about the Perception, okay? So Bear had this bow called the Perception. It was an awesome bow. It was a shoot-through bow. I don't know why no one talks about it. I have it. I won't get rid of it.
I call it the elephant leg.
I don't care what you call it. It was an awesome bow.
You could throw that bow and just kill whatever it hit.
Probably, but it had a wood grip that was beautiful. Like it's
a cool-looking bow.
But the pocket looks similar. It's not the same, but it's similar to the pocket they chose on the Execute, and that's my point. So that bow
really, I never thought about that.
It was a bow they used to stage ideas probably for going into this price point.
That never even crossed my mind.
I still have it. It didn't cross your mind because you don't have the bow. I still have it. I won't get rid of it because I love it.
But no, this idea of like cost equaling value, or cost equaling performance, and you used a really good term on the phone the other day, and I don't remember what it was. It was like quality, cost versus quality, or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Quality.
Man, it was perfect. You'll think of it later.
I'll think of it later.
But anyways, that idea is, people think, well, I'm too good to shoot a $500 bow. Really?
Yeah.
Like,
that's
you're not good enough to get anything out of that. Like, you'll never outshoot that $500 bow.
Yeah.
Never. And that's what, I had a guy, and he literally tells me, he's like, I like the Alaskan, but I can't get past the idea that it's a budget bow. And I'm like, what?
See,
that's stupid.
Everybody's different in that sense. This is what I was going to say about money, is that some people, they have a lot of money. They don't care about money, right? So to them, they want the best bow in their mind for the highest price. They don't care. They don't even care some don't even care what brand it is. They just want to buy the highest price. But I think majority of us do care about the money. See, if I was going to buy a bow today, I would budget it completely. So I know exactly. I'm going to say, okay, I have $1,000. I'm going to the store. I'm going to shoot everything I can that's $600 or less, because I need that $300 for the quiver, the whatever.
Right.
Bears got ready to shoot packages, ready to hunt packages, whatever. That's awesome, right? That adds in a value, but maybe I don't want that. Maybe I want Trophy Ridge top-notch sight or a Spot Hog or whatever, right? So those are the things you have to look at, but I think that some people, just like I said, they don't care. They just, they want the best of the best of the best in their mind, which it's not untrue, because like I said, those bows will have the highest tech, the newest tech, but doesn't mean it's better necessarily. But those Alaskans, those Legend XRs will kill just as many deer. No problem.
Yeah. No, and that's what we alluded to this point of, I literally have this guy tell me, I like the Alaskan, but I can't get past the budget bow. And I'm like, have you ever heard of Chuck Adams? And he's like, duh. And I'm like, well, he's shooting the Alaskan, right? And I'm like, so you're telling me you kill 2 deer a year, maybe.
Yep.
But somehow you're too good for the bow that Chuck Adams shoots.
Yeah.
And I went into,
that's a good response.
I went in, like, he was a good friend of mine. I wasn't being rude. Like,
Yeah.
I could shoot straight with the guy. And he's not a good friend anymore after that comment. No, I'm just kidding. But no, a good friend of mine. So I wasn't being rude, and I would never tell anybody else that. But and I told him, I said, dude, do you understand that Chuck Adams went to Alaska, packed into the backcountry? You're hunting in a tree stand in Illinois. You're not shooting past 20 yards.
Yep.
Never. We'll get to that. I'll go off on a tangent in a second. But I'm like, he was in the backcountry of Alaska in a tent for 30 days, 28 days, alone.
Mm-hmm.
Chuck holds the record for non-typical Sitka blacktail velvet. Non-typical velvet Sitka blacktail going into this hunt. Ends up shooting a deer that breaks that record with the Bear Alaskan. The next day goes out and shoots another deer that's bigger than the one that just broke his record.
Jeez.
Then he goes out the next day. You can shoot 3 in Alaska. Goes out the next day and shoots another deer that beats both 2.
That's crazy.
And it will be, it should be confirmed next in February at the Pope and Young panel. It will be the biggest net score that a record's ever been broken by.
Wow.
And it was done with a Bear Alaskan. But somehow you're too good for it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, that's the question you got to ask.
To each his own, that's the problem, right? But I agree with you 100%. That bow is legit, man. I mean, it's nice. Like, no doubt in my mind, I would use that bow in a heartbeat. And that's why I asked them. Earlier, just messing with the Bear guys. I'm like, is there going to be a 2.0 of this? Is there something else coming with it?
It's a bad bow, dude.
It's so good. It's a nice bow.
I love the simplicity in it.
I do too.
I
agree.
love there's no. I mean, the technology is great, obviously, but there's nothing that's not needed.
We have to put in perspective that the industry has a lot of high-priced bows.
Yeah.
Right? So this is the problem, right? It's not a problem, but this is where it's at. A lot of companies design bows are $1,100, $1,300, right? Bear just did this. They didn't usually do this. Okay, because they can. They have the ability. They just never did it. But that's what's pushed. So mentally, when you say I can't bring myself to shoot a mid-price bow, you're not getting the bow for I'm a hunter. You're getting the bow because you want to show off to your friends.
Social status. When I hang it on the bow hook at the range, everybody's gonna go, "Oh snap, he's got the new X."
Correct.
You know?
But what people don't realize, and this is one of the things I've been talking to the marketing team here at Bear about, is I said, look, you send me a bow, send me like the black one with colorful highlights to put on it, right? Like, let's spruce it up. So people then, do you see what I'm saying? See, the problem with camo, I love camo, but the problem with camo is that people, when they see camo, they associate with like kind of older, the new colors, the new stuff that's these nice colors like tan and black and green, but decked out with the right accessories, looks phenomenal. If you were to go to a range, people are like, what is that bow? You know, it doesn't matter. Yeah. And then they're like, Alaskan, really? I never thought of that, you know? Or you could take an Alaskan, like this is silly stuff, but maybe there's a way for a person to get Alaskan that's bright yellow, like the logo, you know, and that's on a black bow. I mean, it would pop, you know? Sometimes it's just simple cosmetic. But as far as performance, it's right there with that bow. It don't matter, you know?
Yeah, no, for real. But I was just... You talked about that high-end bow that Bear just came out with, and they finally kind of, broke that barrier, that $1,000 barrier. And at first, everybody's freaking out. Everybody's like, "Oh man, Bear Archery, they're not worth $1,000. They're not worth $1,200." And I'm like, okay, well, slow down, because for the last 10 years, you've been screaming, "When's Bear going to compete? When's Bear going to compete?"
Yeah.
Then Bear competes, and you cry about it. Like, there's no winning.
I agree. So, I think it's with Bear that the key to this is time. It's not going to be a fast. People aren't just going to go nuts and buy all these bows, right? It's going to take time to get people, take away people's trust, to say, you know what, if I'm going to spend my $11.99 with you, I'm going to do it with Bear.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like right now, I'm shooting Matthews, I'm shooting whatever. How are you going to pull those guys over? It can happen, but it's going to take time. It's not like in 2 years. It's going to take multiple years. It's going to take time and new designs and keep going forward. It's just the way it is.
Well, I said this. I've said this several times on several platforms, and I stand by it. If people walk up and shoot the Execute 32 or the Execute 30, but I prefer the 32, you could put that bow against any other bow on the market, and you still might like another bow better. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it's the best bow ever made and you'll like it more than any other bow, because I'm not you. I don't know what you're going to like better. You still might prefer another bow. But there's nobody who can argue that bow doesn't compete with those bows.
Agree.
In my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. It's right there with them. I mean, there's no the only difference is the name right now. But the thing about it's cool is that it's a new design. Like, they did a good job on that design. It's very good looking.
That wider stance.
So it looks beautiful.
The moment you pick that bow up, I said this on a video. I met the guys from Bear down in Missouri for a hunt, and they brought my Execute 32. And I had never seen it before. I said, I want to have a true, authentic first reaction, pick this bow up and shoot it. And so I made sure I didn't go to any shops and pick it up and look at it. I didn't, I waited till that hunt. And I pulled that out, and the moment you grab it, it feels better than any other bow. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not even talking about shooting it. It just feels better quality than Bear has had in the past. And that's what, I'm just saying, like, when people pick that up, they feel, this is no longer the old budget Bear that we used to think of.
I'm not sure people realize that Bear brought in some new grips in the last few years. They've done a really good job at the ergonomics of the grip area, so it 100%. Does feel very good. And then with the Adapt, with that bear paw they put in.
What'd you think about the
I like
Adapt grip?
I do like it. It's a little big for me, but it's nice. I like the grippiness of it. I like it. I like it better than just the two bars with the metal. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a big fan. I like the Grizz grip the best out of the ones that Bear has, but I don't think it can fit on that bow. You know what I mean? I think it's a different width.
I actually, when I got my Execute, I actually didn't prefer the Grizz Grip.
Oh, see, I like the Grizz Grip. Yeah, that's my favorite.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe
it's got the ergonomics at the bottom, so your hand might be your hand's different than mine, obviously.
Right.
So you don't like the feel. Like I like how it narrows to the throat; it goes up. But some people don't like that. I mean, it's the way it is. But my point is, they have options. That's what I was getting to for that.
And that's what I think. If Bear prides themselves on anything, it should be that very thing. We've got options.
Yeah,
it's not 2 flagships.
Yep.
I mean, you watch a lot of other bow companies, and you see new bow launch, new bow week, and they come out with 2 new bows, and it's, last year they had a 33, this year it's a 33X.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Like,
that's what's happening with, there he is.
And then you watch Steve-O from...
Steve-O.
And then you watch, he still hasn't...
Still didn't see us.
And then you watch Bear's new bow launch, and it's like,
multiple bows.
We've got bows for your kids.
Yeah.
We've got bows for your wives.
Yep.
We've got 7 different bows from you, ranging from 400 to 1200. We've got new crossbows. Mm-hmm. We've got new recurve.
Trad.
We've got
so good trad.
Dude,
I had no respect for
that bug
trad.
has bit you, dude.
It bit me weird. You know what bit me the most? First off, I don't know if you know this, but I started a new initiative. I just started it, just to start getting publicity now. It's called The Time Is Now. Okay, so this new campaign we launched, Bowhunter Planet. I'm going to start picking up, like Pope and Young, whoever wants to get involved in it can get involved. It's not like a one-person thing, okay? So the concept with The Time Is Now is that I'm trying to orient people through a video, through media, whatever. I'm trying to orient people for the time is now to get involved in archery. These are people who don't shoot archery, right? So in the video, I actually take concepts of trees moving and traditional bows and like just getting people that thought of how do I get involved in the outdoors, but doing it in a way that's like really epic and cinematic. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful piece. And so that really bit me first. And the way it comes to me, everybody's different about how creativity comes to them, but I was laying in bed. It's like 11:30 at night. I don't want to, get into Christianity or anything like that, but I feel like God gave me this like idea in my mind. It just pops in, and it says, "The time is now." And I start writing on my phone in the notes, just whatever's coming to my head, the words. And I'm like, "Oh, this is." I'm like, "This is what it's got to be. This is what's going to grab people. This is what I've been, So anyway, I write the script based on that, send it to a narrator, narrates it, put it against the video. It's freaking, it's beautiful. I can't wait for you to see it. It's a beautiful piece.
Have you heard, and if I'm not supposed to publicly talk about this, my bad, Morel targets. So similar to what you just said, Del Morel was laying in bed one night, and he said, God literally spoke to me. And anyways, this came about, and I don't know all the details, so I'm really not trying to anyways, there's an archery movie. They're producing an archery movie, and it's for families, for kids, for inspirational
like
behind art.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, and again, never mind. I don't think I can publicly say that.
Yeah.
And anyways.
We'll talk offline.
No, I can say everything I've said thus far. I'm confident in that.
Cool.
But no, there's some really big things that are powering that, and it could literally change the face of archery.
Mm-hmm.
And could change the face of bow hunting and could rewrite ATA forever.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
That's sweet. I don't know if you've seen this, but the guys over at AccuBow have a game system.
Yeah.
Built on the bow.
I've never got to play it yet.
And we were doing it the other day, and it was legit. Like, I mean, my son did it. They sent us one before, but it's just like, if you don't know what AccuBow is, it's for like working out your arm to get it strong. But also, they turn into a digital game with an app.
Yeah.
But you can project that to your TV with your, I don't know what they call it, cast, whatever. And so everybody can watch. Like that TV there, I could be doing it right here, and you could be watching what I'm shooting at.
Yeah.
It's so cool. So, but those type of things.
I call it the bow hunting Wii.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but that's the kind of thing where, hey, start with this, and then, hey, there's a Brave bow. You can try the real thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are the kinds of connections that
for sure.
the industry needs to make together, not just by themselves. This is something, it's a good idea, right, to connect on.
I was thinking last night, as I was going back to my hotel, I'm like, man, I haven't seen one kid here.
No.
And I understand.
Good point.
I understand people are here to work, and people are here to have sit-down meetings.
Yeah.
But I really thought to myself, I'm like, man, what would happen if I was to get my son involved at 5
Mm-hmm.
And then when he's 25, he's like, dude, I've already been at ATA for 20 years.
Yeah.
Like, what would happen if we were to get our kids so deeply invested at a core level like that? And, dude, I understand. Like, it's going to suck.
I'll tell you where kids do show up, though. Total Archery Challenge.
Yeah.
That's amazing to see. And I did see them there right by the Bear booth. They're out there shooting when I was up there with the guys last year there. It was a beautiful thing. But not here as much. You're right.
I just thought, and like, I get it, man. Like, I have to have meetings and I have to do these things. But I'm like, dude, you know how many kids' activities I've seen? The AccuBow and there's somebody on the other side and you can shoot the little floating.
Kids would love this place.
The little floating kids, over there.
There's fun stuff here.
To shoot at. And, there's the virtual hunt over here. And, I mean, there's things that my boy would shoot that Nerf bow for 7 hours and I'd just go in to have meetings. But I'm like, what would happen if our younger generation was so exposed to hunting at this big of a level?
Yeah, this is pretty cool. I think they like this. I think my kids will like it. Tiring, though. It's a lot of walking around.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking about that last night, and I'm like, why not?
Yeah.
Why not? And so, but that was something that, when this idea about bear and budget bows and kids bows, I'm like, you know what? You look around and every other bow company pretty much leaves my kids out.
Yeah.
Like every other bow company pretty much leaves it up to the plastic bows at Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you look at bear, I'm like, dude, I can buy my kids a legit and they can hunt with it till they're 30. They can hunt with it forever.
There's only a handful of bow companies who do anything that like Bear does, so there's only a handful. And I think Bear does the best. They have the most. I mean, there's no doubt about that. I mean, they're the ones leading the pack with that, with getting kids involved for sure. Be nice to take that to another level with and they do it with the Total Archery Challenge, try it there, but just continuing somehow doing those type of things, but
yeah. And I don't know, I'm not here to bash any other bow company, and I'm not here to say Bear's better than any other bow company, because I am a massive proponent of shoot every bow and buy what you like.
For sure.
But I will say this: you look at Bear, and you're like 90 years of history.
I love it. Yeah.
There's a reason that they've been around for 90 years because they care about the next generation.
Yep.
Like when people neglect the next generation, what do you think's going to happen?
Mm-hmm.
Like you blew these kids off. What do you think's going to happen?
Yeah, that's true.
And then all of a sudden, there's nobody around. The
situation's it's not a good situation, to be honest with you. The situation's this: you don't have a lot of youth coming up, right? So they're not coming up into it. This is why it's important to get kids involved now and find ways to do it. It's not easy. So my kids even they're like spotty on it. Like, oh, they want to do it one day, next day they don't. I try everything, dude. Like, hey, if you guys go out and shoot some balloons with your bows, I'll give you Pokemon cards. I'll give you baseball cards. I tried everything. So now I'm on this create our own bow thing, and I'm going to have you on that podcast when I do it with that Kramer guy, because that would be cool when he comes on. The guy makes the bows just for fun. I think it'd be cool. But anyway, I'm trying to get them to build a bow with me. Like, all right, I'm going to do mine. Let's do it all together, right in a row. But it is time consuming. It's long.
We were talking about, we're like, what would it take to go to the Bear headquarters and build our own bows?
We got to do it, dude.
One of these guys can make it happen.
Oh, yeah. Jim's going to make it happen.
Yeah.
Jim and John will make it happen. Caleb. They're going to make it happen. I know it.
Somebody will make it happen, and that's going to be that will be the pinnacle of my year.
Me too. That would be
I don't
amazing.
even, it doesn't, but the question is how,
I want to see the traditional stuff more than aluminum. To me.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I would love to see the woods and the colors and watch them glue it, and then oh my god, dude, it'd be so.
Yeah,
cool.
And people, here's.
I'll pay. Hey guys, I'll pay for my own bow.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I have to pay to do this, I will do it.
I told you that Neil is the guy that you need to talk to. He's right behind us here. He runs the shop down there in Gainesville. But no, I mean that would be like a dream.
I better take a picture now which one I want so I get there. Can I make this one?
So you can tell them exactly which one.
No. You can't use zebra wood. That's too much money.
You take a picture of the aluminum riser. I'm like, no, dude, you missed this. This is not why we're here, dude.
Yeah.
But no, I think you told me a story the other day about that Payless deal.
Yeah. That's funny. That's exactly part of what you just said about people want you, just like that Alaskan thing you just said. That's the same thing.
I wish we could do a study like that or do tests like that in the outdoor world?
Well,
you're working on it. I can tell. You
immediately it's definitely possible.
You immediately lit up.
In order to do it, you have to have a little bit of help from a boat company, because the only way to do it for a boat company would be for them to create a new name that's fake that they put on the bow limb. So say it is a Legend XR, the bow, and you put on there Powerhouse 3000 or XL 28 million, right? 28M or something, right?
The new bomb
the
dropper.
One that no one knows about. You get a limited edition. You can only get it, and it's a special color. It's not even a color it's offered. That's how you do it. And I think if you were to team up with Baird, do something like that, I think it could be done. Honestly, I think you could take a Baird boat. So
explain before we go on. Explain that.
Yeah, so
Payless study or that project
Payless
or whatever.
Was in New York, and they came up. I think it was New York. They came up with this idea that they want people to pass by their store all the time. People shop there. It's cool, but they're like, what if we just change our name to Pele and charge $400 for the same shoes? What would happen? And they did it. They changed the wording, the marketing, everything. The building changed to Pelu, and they had really fancy people at the doors, dressed up, come into Pelu, speaking French or something. And these people came in and they sold tons of stuff. I couldn't believe it. And then finally, hey, just so you know, those are just regular Payless $40 shoes. And they gave them their money back, but they were just and they're like, what? I
don't think I would have gave them their money back, and I don't think I would have ever changed back. Caleb,
I think they had to.
I don't think I ever would have changed back. All right, we're just talking. What would it take? What would it take?
Uh-oh, here we go.
We're about to drop a question. We need a real answer here.
It better. Yeah,
We'll pay all the travel. I'll even buy the bow. I want to go to Gainesville and
we want to
make
a bow.
Recurve.
Make a bow day.
Yes, we're
in.
in.
I think he said okay. I think we're in. I think that's in.
I just saw Neil walk by, and I wanted to yell at Neil, but he didn't. He looked like he was on a mission, but
that would be awesome. That whole process. If we could, even if there's ways we could film it, I don't know about all of it, but if we could film some of it, that would be phenomenal. I just want to go like this with the dust. Just
LeBron it, dude. He's gonna LeBron the sawdust.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
That would be sick.
And it goes back to the history that's in Bear. But, I've got a guy, he's about to show up, and you got to meet him, dude. But he made his own bows, and not professionally and not for a long time, but he made his own bows. And his name's Harv Ebers, and he was one of the founding board members of Pope & Young, personal friend of Fred Bear's.
Yep.
So much history, and, he tells stories about Fred and everything, and again, just hearing the history of all this. But yeah, I mean, when you hear somebody say, yeah, there's machines down there that
that's crazy.
Fred literally worked on bows on.
It's amazing.
And it's I'm going to make my own bow.
Guys, if you're a traditional archer and you have not checked out Three Rivers Archery, what are you waiting for? Three Rivers Archery is your one-stop shop for all things traditional archery. They have the largest in-stock selection of traditional archery equipment anywhere. Same-day shipping, very, very, very knowledgeable. Listen, I use Three Rivers all the time. If I've got a question on tuning, if I've got a question on broadheads, if I've got a question on brace height or anything like that, I use Three Rivers for everything. They know the products because they use the products. Three Rivers Archery is by far the gold standard when it comes to traditional archery. So guys, if you're just getting into traditional archery, I would encourage you to use Three Rivers as a resource for knowledge and understanding and growing and learning, and as a place to get all those products that you're going to be needing as you take this journey.
I wish it was Fred Bear, 2.0. Somehow he was here again, so you could see what's going on and tell us I think you guys should go this direction.
So somebody asked me that the other day. They said, what's it going to take for somebody to be so influential that we can change hunting forever again? What Fred Bear did, what the steps that Fred made and the things that he did literally changed hunting forever. Mm-hmm. And they said, what's it going to take, not only for a single individual, because that's not what it's about. It's about a hunting community. But what's it going to take for a company, an organization, a group, for something to change the face of hunting and archery forever again? What does that take?
I have no idea. That's a good point. I never heard of that question, but that now when you're saying it like that, I'm I don't know if you could. Honestly, I don't know.
So
it's hard to say that because.
But to say that is to say that the hunting industry and the hunting community is perfect.
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying you can do it in small batches, but how to get one large batch like a Fred Bear?
Yeah, I mean,
it's very difficult. You need an innovator, but not just an innovator. He's a hunter. He's an innovator. He was a great guy. Like he was, detailed. He built a brand. I mean, you just have to start a new brand. You know what I mean? How would you do that?
This absolutely goes back to the whole represent your archery community well.
Yeah.
I've been told by friends of Fred that he was a smoker. Smoked like a freight train, but he would never, ever, ever be seen on camera with a cigarette.
How old do you think he was when he died? He looked pretty old.
It's an easy Google.
He looked old though. I would think he was.
We should know that, but
I felt like it was his 80s, but I don't know.
But he would never be seen with a cigarette because he was influential, and he didn't want to influence anybody in a negative way.
Yeah,
he didn't want anybody to look at him or the hunting community or bear archery with any kind of negative light. So he would never be seen on camera with a cigarette.
Weird.
And that's the kind of commitment and that's the kind of thought process that I was just talking about. Like the way that we represent ourselves.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The way that we represent ourselves not only is good for us, it's not only good for our companies, it's not only good for our, pro staff teams or whatever we're on, but it's good for the community.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was 86 years old.
86, see? He got long. That's a good life.
Yeah, 86 years old. And hunted the entire time of it.
Yeah.
Before we move on, I got to give a quick thank you to my friends over at Season Report. Season Report is an online hunting almanac. You can go in and you can save your counties that you hunt in by the county. And then you can log on, view everything by calendar view. So if you hunt in different states, a lot of different places, sometimes it's hard to keep up with season dates, bag limits, rules, laws, regulations. So with Season Report, it gives you one easy-to-use, easy-to-understand platform, and you can see everything in one place. No more clunky state agency websites, but also a lot of foraging options on when other things are coming in, when you can find mushrooms, when you can do all these things with berries and gardening. It's a really, really cool app, it's a really cool website, and it's just for $10 for the entire year. Use code HUNTING101 all caps, and you're going to get that. I use it every day as season comes to plan out when I'll be where, and it's a phenomenal tool. What's been the most shocking thing to you at ATA this year?
Shocking thing. I don't know. There's like a lot of stuff, man. There's just a lot of cool stuff. I saw some really cool attachments on quivers. I saw some cool. I really love the painted arrow stuff. They do this like magnet holder for your phone. So like this. It snaps on. I think that's cool. A lot of stuff. Each company's got something unique, but I've seen most of the things. So it's not like there's a lot of new things I haven't seen, but. I saw G5 put out some arrows. That was interesting. They have their own arrow now. I didn't know they had.
I did not see that yet.
Just did that. There was that they had. They had a new quiver. Those are a couple things I noticed. You guys had some new attachment that's for the React or something to help with the way it attaches. I forgot what Ryan was talking about, but there's some cool stuff there.
It's a scope attachment.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
You can run any scope on the digital React system, which is that's incredible because, I mean, people have, their scopes that they like, which is... Yeah. Again, that's good. If you like another scope, great. If that's what you feel comfortable with, great. But now you can put it on the best base in the industry, and that's the digital React. Most shocking thing to me, I heard Michael Waddell call another man daddy. That was cool.
Interesting. I saw Mike walk by. I didn't get a chance to talk to him, but he walked by too.
No, we were hanging out in the Mystery Ranch booth, just looking at some packs and hanging out. And Mike's a buddy. He spoke at the Pope and Young convention
last year. Is he here right
year.
now still?
I'm not sure.
Oh, I haven't seen. I got to give him something, actually. He won an award. I forgot to give him a Golden Arrow Award.
Oh, yeah.
I saw him. I was like, I got to give this to him. And then then he was talking to working class bowhunter guys, so I didn't want to get involved, get in the middle. So I kept going. I was like, I'll see him later, but then I haven't found him since. So.
No, and so he's a good friend of ours, and he was at the convention last year, and we're looking at these packs, and he walks up and he says, "If I call you daddy, will you buy me one?" And I'm like...
That's how you save money, dude. Right
I'm
there.
like, I got news for you, dude. If Michael Waddell calls me something, dude, I'll buy him pretty much anything you want. No.
That's hilarious.
My favorite thing so far, dude, not to be I don't know, the term to use, but the new Ridge hoodie, Ridge fleece lock hoodie from Scentlock. That I think that's what it was called. It's don't get mad at me. It's brand new. I saw it for the first time. I think that'll quickly become like a go-to piece. Because it's just it looks.
I saw Scentlock put out their scent blocker with the turkey stuff. That looked cool. We were over there.
Oh yeah, the new turkey logo. Yeah,
sick.
So the blocker line is doing some really cool stuff with turkey gear, and they replaced that the emblem,
the yellow patch, with
the yellow patch with the turkey.
Brown. Sick.
It looks really good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's impressive.
Yeah, the Ridge hoodie, it's quarter zip hoodie, looks really really good. So, I got to spend some time shooting the new bows, and I hadn't shot the Adapt yet before. I really liked it, smooth, quiet. But I just personally, I don't think you can get as smooth or as quiet as the Execute. It just
no. I mean, that's a top-notch bow, so yeah, that's what's going to happen. You're always going to have that with those top-notch, but that's okay. I mean, like I said, at price point, you got to decide what you want to spend. If you're going to spend the money and go execute. I mean, it's awesome. If you can afford it, do it.
For sure.
So,
not as far as products go, but just as far as atmosphere. What's been your kind of feel of the show so far?
It's been relaxing, kind of calm, not crazy. Normally, like a couple of years ago, I come here and it was like 40, 50 people deep in a booth. You couldn't even talk to anybody. It was hard. Now, it's actually quite nice. It's like I actually walk in and I only got maybe one or two people ahead of me and I can talk to, I need to talk to. So it's been a good atmosphere. It's nice and relaxed.
Yeah,
I thought ATA did a good job. It looks clean. It looks nice and organized. So
it's definitely not what it's been in the past. Yeah. Now, I'm not bashing ATA. I'm not predicting
it's not their fault.
Not predicting the downfall of ATA. I'm just saying it's not what it's been in the past.
Yeah, see, I don't know how it affects the sales, right? I'm not. You know what I'm saying? So from my perspective, I'm media. I come in. I don't have to make money here. You know what I mean? I walk in. I say hi. Get the thing. Where if I'm coming here as a company,
hands, kiss babies.
Yeah, I say, hey, how's it going, guys?
Take photos.
Exactly. You come here and you're actually doing business.
Autograph babies' foreheads. No,
I haven't had that yet, but
I was actually having a conversation the other day and with the guys over at Baku e-bikes, and he said, all these big players drop out, and that's better.
Yeah.
Because now, rather than people swarming that big booth and staying there for hours and hours, they're going around to other booths and they're exploring more, and they're spending more time talking about other products with other people, and they're not just
the smaller companies benefit for sure.
Yeah, they're not just going and attacking the big booths that they always go to and attack because they're not here anymore. Yeah. So, I think if you look at it that way, less booths gives you more just quality time with people, and that is, I don't come here. I'm much like yourself. I don't come here for money. I don't come here for, I don't have to close big deals, but, I'm here to see my friends. I'm here to.
I agree.
I'm here to say, thank you for your support over the years, and thank you for all the work that you've been doing. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be here without you, dude. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's so funny.
I would not be here without you.
Yeah, I still got probably 2 hours of walking after this. There's so many more things I still have to do. I saw a couple people walk by. I'm like, I gotta say hi to him. I didn't say hi to him.
Sounds like you should just go home, dude.
I know. That's why I'm trying to get out here tomorrow morning. I'd like to leave tomorrow. Just get home. It's hard to be away. Kids are doing stuff, sports. It's what I mean? It's hard to be away from all that.
And that's
I can't believe people here that travel all the time.
Dude.
All the events and stuff. Total Arch Challenge. Those guys who travel the whole summer.
Dude, one of my friends just left. He has to go from here. He's flying straight to Reno for Wild Sheep Foundation. Then he flies straight from Wild Sheep Foundation to SHOT Show. And I'm like, wow, dude, how do you have a life?
Actually, I got invited to SHOT Show too. I was like, I can't go to SHOT Show too. There's no way. There's no way.
Yeah. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. They're like, I'm not bashing anybody. I encourage you to try and be the very best you can be, and influence people for the good of hunting and for the good of bow hunting. But all these people are like, I want to be full time in the industry. How do I make my living in the industry? I'm like,
no thanks.
It's
good.
hard.
I like doing what I do, and I do. I'm very minimal. And that's the thing about my group is we're media oriented. That's all we do. We're just like a channel you watch on TV. We're just totally segregated media. Our job is really just simple. Just show people what's in the market. People follow us to see it. It's very simplified. It's not as complex as people like. We don't like the word sponsor. We don't want to be sponsored. We just want people to buy ads. If you want to buy an ad on something, buy an ad. You know what I mean? Like trying to keep it very simplified. We don't want to be in the position of have to make a living on it. Like, it's the one thing we don't want to do. You know, none of us want to do that. We're like, no, it's just fun the way we do it now. You know, just keep it simple. And you know,
I'll tell you what I'm excited about. We're gonna do a video right after this is over. We're gonna do a video on our budget bow picks. You're gonna say your budget buy of the year, and I'm gonna say my budget buy of the year, and why we're choosing that bow. And I'm excited to do that, and I'm excited to show the people. Like, I'm excited to show the people why I chose this. So make sure and tune into the Bowhunter Planet to see that video. But Dave, I ask every guest, you know, what's that one tip you got? Like that one, and I want it to be an influential tip, like for somebody to influence the community better.
My tip is simple: try new things.
Oh yeah, what do you mean?
People don't try enough things, man. They get so one-sided in brands and all this stuff.
You mean like as far as, you know, products, or as far as like
products? Try some
ideas, or
like it could be anything from trying a tree stand hunting or blind hunting, a different bow brand. Like, it could be anything. Just open your mind is all I'm saying.
Glad you didn't say saddles.
No, whatever. I don't know. I've never done a saddle.
I'm closed-minded to that.
I've never done it.
I give my boy Steve-O a hard time because he owns a saddle company.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I'm not wearing a stinking tree diaper, bro. No, I have nothing against saddles. Here's the reason why
I'm going to try it eventually, but I've never done it yet.
Here's the reason I haven't tried it, because I don't want to like it. I don't want to like it, and I think if I try it, I'll like it. But the problem is, I counted the other day, and I have 27 tree stands.
Wow.
Whether they be up, whether they be down, whether they be in my garage, in my attic.
Yep.
Whether they be in my father-in-law's garage, or down in Oklahoma, or in my parents', or in Arkansas, Missouri, wherever they're at. I've got 27 tree stands. And the thing about a saddle is they can replace it all. That's what they say. You know, like, you don't have to have all the sets anymore. You don't have to have all. And I'm like, I've put a lot of money in 27 tree stands.
Yeah, heck yeah.
I don't want to do away with them all.
Yeah.
You know? That's kind of like, you know, it's one of those things. Now, I will say this, though. If I was going to a piece of public ground, walk in and hunt and try to kill a deer, I would absolutely be doing it with a saddle.
Yeah? Well, that's what I plan to try it on. Yeah, it's public land.
Absolutely.
Try everything, guys.
But when you've got leases and you've got these places that are managed,
it wouldn't make sense,
you know, with food plots, and, you know, year after year, I know where I'm going to be hunting. I know, you know, how I'm going to be hunting it. And these tree stands are already set up and ready to rock and roll. Like, and I don't want to try it and just fall in love with it and be like, well, now these 27 tree stands that I spent tons of money on are now obsolete.
Yeah,
so
makes sense.
That's kind of me. But I would be on the try new things. You know, like you talk about TikTok. Like, I'm so closed off to that. Like, I would never dream of trying TikTok. But we're talking about influencing that next generation. That next generation is on TikTok.
That's it. Now you're understanding. There's different ways to look at it. You can look at it from, it's owned by China, all this crap. I get it. But the problem is that's where the youth is. And if you're not going to go after the target, you can stay on Instagram, but it's not where the youth is. It's moved. It's already shifted. And I can see those numbers.
Back to MySpace,
my numbers.
Bro. Get back on MySpace.
It might be. You never know, man. 2 more years.
I wish it was on MySpace. I'll put you in my top 5 or whatever it was.
I don't remember. I don't think I used MySpace, actually.
Yeah.
I think I started with Facebook, but...
I never had MySpace. I was too young. My parents wouldn't let me.
Yeah.
But I also didn't have a phone until I was 16, so... That's the culture I grew up in.
Yeah, me either.
Well, guys, make sure and check out the video we're going to do. I'm excited to do it. We're probably going to have to get out of this booth to do it because it's popping. But where all can they find Bowhunter Planet?
Everywhere. Bowhunterplanet.com.
Everywhere?
Everywhere.
So you're
TikTok,
on MySpace.
True Social. I'm on everything. I purposely set it up on every single media thing I could.
So you're on MySpace?
Yeah, everywhere.
All right. Go check out Bowhunter Planet, BHP. I got to get one of those dope hats.
Yeah, dude.
I'll tell you that.
Got you.
But guys, before we go, I have a love. Like, we're talking about the addiction of like traditional archery, and part of that is like it gives you the option to like play with arrows and rebuild arrows, and you know, just tinker with stuff. And so I've gotten this new addiction and new love for building my own arrows. And I met a guy, he's become a good friend of mine, Dan with Arrow Junkie. He provides you, if you go to arrowjunkie.com, he gives you all of the tools, all of the information that you need to build your own arrows. He's got all the components, all the fletchings, all the broadheads, all the shafts, everything. You can try all different kind of arrow setups from one place. So, guys, I would highly encourage you to check out Arrow Junkie. If you build your own arrows, if you tune your own arrows,
check it out.
He's a phenomenal guy, and I love building my own arrows. So I'm an Arrow Junkie. Just built my own bow shop, actually. Did I tell you that?
That sounds cool.
Yeah, I redid my whole garage into a bow shop.
Love it.
So, like one area is arrow saws and arrow tuning. One area is bow press and compounds. And one area is
that's cool.
recurves and strings. And so
Nice.
it's been like a desire of mine for a long time. But it's been one of those things where it's like, honey, you're not going to have a garage to park in anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to take over the garage. Because one half is my garage gym. So she already only had half the garage to park in. So I'm like, baby, if I build a bow shop, you're not going to have anywhere to park. But now she's parking in the driveway. So not because I got approved, but because I just ended up doing it. Guys, thank you so much for listening. Make sure and go check out Bowhunter Planet. You guys have a great week.